viewers. Welcome to Eagles Television, where we publish news on politics, celebrities, metro stories, and news all over the world. You're welcome. If this is your first time of watching Eagles Television, just subscribe to the red button below and tap to the bell beside it so as to keep you updated. We have an interesting story. Rescue mission save Nigeria from economic doom. Stop fuel subsidy. IMF wants Buhari. Here's why. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, in a press release, enjoined the federal government to stop fuel subsidy alongside several other reforms will salvage the Nigerian economy and reduce the poverty level in the nation. Considering the present policies, IMF has declared that it is speechless about the success of the reformation. The IMF has called on the federal government to create further better policies that would gear and improve the Nigeria economy. According to a broadcast journal with BBC, Okwoche, Nigeria is fast slipping into economic depression with an expectation to close 80 out of 110 embassies in the world due to the financial burden required to embark on foreign missions across the world. Here's the full tweet by him. Nigeria is expected to close 80 of its 110 embassies worldwide as it cannot afford to keep them going. The largest budget only has enough funds for 30 foreign missions. Some diplomatic officials are unable to pay utility bills, rent, or their kids' school fees. The IMF stated executive directors welcomed Nigeria's ongoing economic recovery, accompanied by reduced inflation and strengthened reserve buffers. They noted, however, that the medium-term outlook remains muted, with risk tilted to the downside. In addition, long-standing structural and policy challenges need to be tackled more decisively to reduce vulnerabilities, raise per capita growth, and bring down poverty. Directors, therefore, urged the authorities to redouble their reform efforts and supported their intention to accelerate implementation of their economic recovery and growth plan. Continuing, it said, bold reform efforts following the election cycle could boost confidence and investments, especially given relatively conservative baseline projections. On the downside, additional delays in reform implementation, a persistent fall in oil prices, reduced oil production, increased security tensions, or tighter global financial market conditions could undermine growth, provoke a market sell-off, and put additional pressure on reserves or the exchange rate. According to the statement, the IMF also said that despite the decline in non-performing loans (NPLs) and improved prudential banking ratios, undercapitalized banks continue to weigh on financial sector performance, adding that the authorities should create a credible timeline to recapitalize weak banks in the country and also for phasing out the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria (AMCON). As the statement puts it, directors welcomed the decline in non-performing loans and the improved prudential banking ratios, but noted that restructured loans and undercapitalized banks continue to weigh on financial sector performance. They suggested strengthening capital buffers and risk-based supervision, conducting an asset quality review, avoiding regulatory forbearance, and revamping the banking resolution framework. Directors also recommended establishing a credible time-bound recapitalization plan for weak banks and a timeline for phasing out the state-backed asset management company, AMCON. Furthermore, the IMF directors, according to the statement, welcomed the federal government's tax reform plan to increase non-oil revenue, including through tax policy and administration measures. They stressed the importance of strengthening domestic revenue mobilization, including through additional exercises, a comprehensive VAT reform, and elimination of tax incentives. Directors highlighted the importance of shifting the expenditure mix towards priority areas. They welcomed in this context the significant increase in public investment, but underlined the need for greater investment efficiency, the statement said. Similarly, the IMF directors expressed support for restrictive monetary policy, saying it is appropriate for the Nigerian economy at this time. With inflation still above the central bank's target, directors generally consider that a tight monetary policy stance is appropriate, they stated. They urged the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) to enhance transparency and communication and to improve the monetary policy framework, including using more of traditional methods such as raising the monetary policy rate (MPR) or cash reserve requirement (CPR). They, however, advised the CBN to end its direct intervention in the economy and focus on its price stability mandate. It will be recalled that during her visit to Nigeria in 2016, the managing director of the IMF, Christine Lagarde, had asked the federal government to take very tough economic decisions, including removal of fuel subsidy and increasing VAT. Stressing the need to remove fuel subsidy, Lagarde said at the time that the move by the government to remove the fuel subsidy is good. Those people who need the subsidy can receive cash transfer. Fuel subsidies are hard to defend. Subsidies are no longer good, but I hear that it will hurt the poor. 40% of fuel subsidy in rich countries go to rich families. The people do not really need the subsidy. Look at the number of people who stay at stations trying to buy fuel. Thank you and God bless you.